The Fan. As our coverage is brought to you by Stella Artois and the Low T Center. Been a very eventful day, and we're about to check in with two of America's finest right here on 105.3 The Fan. Okay, you have Captain Gervy Alota, whose resume is incredible. He's done just about anything that's possible to do in the Navy. Surface warfare officer, son of a Navy chief, graduate of the academy, named team captain of the football team his senior year, joint war plans officer for the 3rd Fleet, instructor for the Sea Combat Command Syndicate. I mean, I could go on and on. I was just giving you
Stop.
He did all right.
Got an overachiever here.
Hey, can we just say that my daughter also graduated from the Naval Academy?
Right?
There you go.
Surface warfare officer, currently deployed in Japan, so I'm proud.
Very
to say
proud.
that.
Yes, girl dad ourselves.
Yeah, there
so,
we go.
yeah,
That's
we're right
awesome.
there with you. And is your
Girl
son
dad
there
all
right
the way.
now?
My son is at the Merchant Marine Academy. And
Okay.
yeah, he's serving across the pond as well. He's on his way back from Japan. Wow.
What's up with this family and water bit?
I know, right? Hey, I trained him well. Had him drinking the Kool-Aid early.
There you go.
And you are here with a fellow Navy officer, Captain Tyree Barnes. Commander Tyree Barnes. I'm sorry. Was that
One day I'll get
You
there.
can do it.
Okay.
You can do it.
Okay. All right.
And you're a Dallas native?
No, I'm from Hampton, Virginia originally,
Okay.
but I'm actually right now I'm in charge of all the recruiting for Dallas, Fort Worth, West Texas, and all of Oklahoma.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're getting kids signed up to be the next.
Anytime you see anybody come from around you, they went through us. So
if anybody's listening and they're interested in joining, what's the recruiting pitch?
they can go to their nearest recruiting station and call me, and I will show up personally and say, hey, you know what, we had this conversation. But more importantly, technology is technology these days. Navy.com, it'll get you exactly what you need. You can learn any and everything about any and every job in the Navy, and it'll lead you right to where you want to be.
Is it different recruiting the kids these days in any way?
It is a lot different recruiting these days, and we both had the ability to command ships, so we understand what the flavor of what we're getting now, right? People want to understand the why, they want to know the buy-in, so it's just a little different, and the propensity is a little different. We don't have grandfathers and grandmothers that are selling the dream, that say, hey, you know, in that war I did this. So we rely on counselors, we rely on teachers, we rely on parents to kind of push them to do something and be a part of something bigger than themselves.
Well, our show producer, Lucius Alexander, who's back in studio in DFW, a Navy man himself.
Oh, perfect.
So hopefully that puts us in good standing with you guys. But we appreciate everything that you guys have done.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Shoot.
Okay, when I was at Green Bay with the Packers, we had a player named Bob Kaburski from the Naval Academy.
Yeah, graduated in 94.
There you go, Bob. He came up to visit me. He was in his dress whites. My man, I said, he landed in Green Bay. I gets off the plane. I'm like, my God, that's my guy right there. I got to go pick him up. We went, and he goes, I'm really hungry. Would you take me to go eat at like a Taco Bell or something like that? Because he was at Annapolis, and he goes, I just want some tacos. Complete dress whites, didn't spill a drop on himself. Is that something you guys now? How do you wear your dress white and not spill? Like, look at me, I would spill anything on me right now.
It's an art, right? Like, so you only have 2 of those uniforms. So if you get ketchup, I mean, we've been to New York, Miami,
exactly.
all these weeks.
There you go.
So you got to be careful. Like, there's an art to it, and you're very intentional about how you eat whatever it is.
So it's very you have to be very but Bob was just like, I'd hand it to him, and not a drop. On that. And I'm like, he's going to spill something. I got to get some napkins here with the napkins. And he did not spill. I said, that's a man right
He
there.
also probably had a Clorox pen on him because you're taught to have that thing
That's a
wherever you
lifesaver.
are. That's a
And the week
lifesaver.
before, he actually probably spilled a lot of stuff on it, so he had a little bit of battle scars.
I was like, God, we got to draft this kid. This guy is a pro.
Do you know Michael Wall as well?
Yes,
So
sure
Michael
do.
Wall, I played
Absolutely
with
do. Oh,
Michael
yeah.
Wall.
See, I worked for a guy in Green Bay, Ron Wolf, who absolutely loved going to the service academies. Like, I would send him. I was coordinating college scouting, so I knew when Ron was going, he would hit Maryland and he hit all those schools in that area. His best call was when he went to the academies. He loved West Point. I mean, we sat there and watched. I mean, when I started with Green Bay, we were watching film of Blanchard and Davis and those guys play for Army in the 40s.
Yeah.
And we're all like, man, these guys are amazing how they're just playing both ways and doing all this stuff like that.
Well, the thing about Mike Wall was, so I was a senior.
He's a good tackle. Yeah.
Well, he was a wide receiver.
Oh,
he was a recruited wide receiver.
Okay, that's
Yeah, and then, like, he actually came in as a tight end. But he started off because we didn't have tight ends.
Right.
We ran the triple.
Yeah.
So he was kind of like a wide receiver.
Right.
And then, like, he became too big.
And
then he became a hand on the ground, like a tackle.
Yeah,
And I'm
sweet
like, how
feet.
did this guy go from a point guard, wide
I'm just telling
receiver,
you.
to a starting left tackle for Brett Favre? Like, unbelievable.
Yeah, no, this is when you go through those academies and stuff and scout, it's amazing how just when you go on campus and you're in that environment, and you realize why, like, gosh, okay, we got to get more of these players on our team.
Absolutely.
And it was a priority for us we had a guy, Ronnie Makeda, who was at West
Army.
Point. Yeah.
He gives me PTSD to this day.
Exactly.
He was a quarterback.
Exactly, that option stuff.
Ron Lashinsky and Makeda.
It's okay. That's Gervy Alota here, former Navy football captain, current captain in the Navy. How different is leading on a football team compared to everyday life in the Navy?
No different. Like the way that you approach, winning the locker room, showing them that you care, leading by example, putting in the work, rolling up your sleeves, getting dirty. It's no different than when you go to a ship. You got to show your sailors that you care, that they add value, that you're their biggest cheerleader. At the end of the day, it's about winning, right? You should all perform, for one common goal, and that's for the victory. It's a little bit different in the Navy. Like if you don't do your job playing football, as a free safety, they score on you. Big deal. Offense has your back. Mm-hmm. If you don't do your job in the military, either equipment breaks or people get hurt, and we can't have that. So you kind of, I've had the privilege of, being a captain on the football team, and I understood what it took, to get the team to buy in and believe and doing something bigger than themselves. I kind of use that same philosophy in the fleet, right, on the ship, and it works. When people feel like they're a part of something big, and they're winners, then I'm guarantee you they walk around with their chest puffed out, feeling good about themselves, and they'll do anything for you. And that's kind of sailors, those kind of leaders that we want in our Navy.
So, one of the things in football and the military I think that people think of in their mind is the discipline, the accountability, maybe a coach or a drill instructor or an officer yelling at you from consuming your content online and what I could find in your videos and then just meeting you right here. You seem to be the positivity and love guy.
Yeah.
So how do you reconcile all that?
Well, winning is the ultimate goal, right? And if you can win and be at that top level by showing love and compassion, then why change? So every organization that I've had the ability to lead or opportunity to lead, I've been the same way. And you know what? I've always produced winners. So you can't tell me that I'm doing something wrong, right? As long as you're producing winners, stay true to who you are. Now, if things aren't working, then you got to flip the switch. And you got to figure out how to adjust and overcome and adapt. So luckily for me, it's about motivating and inspiring and letting people know that we're in this together. I need you, cook. I need you, mechanic. Mm-hmm. I need you, bosun mate, to be the very best of who you are or who you can be so that we win as an organization. And when they feel like they're a part of something big and they know that they add value to the team, they're going to do their very best. And then you got a whole squad, a whole ship doing the very best, and then they're outperforming everybody. I've commanded 3 ships, and all 3 of them were losing organizations before I got there. And they had tyrants on board. Right? They were like leaders from old school, right? But then I come in showing a little love, showing them that, hey, I'm here with you. I'll be here, scrubbing the bilges, painting, chipping with you guys from the very beginning. And we're going to get this done together. When they saw that we cared about them, we cared about their welfare and their well-being, then they're just like, okay, he's down with us, he understands us, he can connect with us, and we're going to give him our very best. And we turned it around, and now we have like the best of the best in that ship class. And we were award-winning ships. We went from the bottom of the barrel, like the jokes of the fleet, to the best award winners, and it was all because of love.
Have you had to adjust at all how you approach maybe some of the younger generation now?
No, because they get me.
Okay.
They get me.
So that approach works.
That approach works because all they want is value, right? They want, they're always on their phone, and they're, they want the clicks, they want the views. How about a pat on the back? Hey, I appreciate what you're doing. Mm-hmm. You're doing amazing things. Let's take a picture, and I'm going to celebrate you on my social media. Yeah. And then that's, like, holy smokes, man, the captain knows who I am, and he recognizes me. Like, that doesn't happen very often. And then it's going to make them want to perform even more.
Where do you come out on setting goals? Like, reading your story about being a young football player, right? Do you want to go realistic, or do you want to shoot for the stars and settle for the moon?
Man, hairy, audacious goals. You got to be bold. My goal when I was a little kid was to play football at Notre Dame. Like, I was a scrawny little freaking Filipino kid. I wrestled 98 pounds my freshman year.
Wow.
But my
not
goal
to draft you to wrestlers. I love wrestlers. I was scouting. If you were a high school championship
Yeah.
wrestler, or you're from Belle Glade, Florida, I was going to draft you.
There we go.
There you go.
So, I mean, big, hairy, audacious goal. No one believed that I could do it, but I was relentless. I told myself, I don't care what you think. I am going to play football at Notre Dame. Yeah. So then, high school, I didn't start until my senior year. I played at a really high-level school, ranked 4th in the nation in San Diego. I didn't start till my senior year. But guess what? No schools were looking at me. I got one offer. It was a school called Navy. Yeah. But guess where I was freshman year in college? I was in South Bend looking up at Touchdown Jesus wearing a gold helmet.
Let's go.
I wasn't playing for Notre Dame, but I was playing at Notre Dame. I was living my dream. Yeah. So you can call it what you want. I'm here living my dream. So my message to people is have a goal, be relentless towards achieving that goal, and don't let anybody tell you can't.
Pursue the dream, man.
Pursue it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. One of the greatest spectacles in sports every year is Army-Navy. I have not been able to experience that. I know Gavin and Brian both have.
You're missing out.
What makes it so special? I mean, because
it
looks like in the stories I've heard, it's chills. Like, even if you don't have anybody that is part of a military academy in the family, like, everyone embraces and can relate to that game. It's special.
Absolutely. I mean, beating Army is ingrained in us from day one. You show up at the Naval Academy, they shave your hair, you run down the hall, you make a right turn, and you don't say anything, and they say, why didn't you yell beat Army, So you make a left turn, and now every time I turn around this corner, I'm going to yell beat Army. You look at any weight room in the weight, beat Army, beat Army, beat Army. So it's instilled in us. It's ingrained in us. So to have that culmination at the end of a season and to know that we can go out with a bang, more importantly, that we can send our seniors out with a bang, and Captain Alota talks about it a lot. That's some of these guys – 99% of that's our last time ever putting on a football helmet is playing against Army. And more importantly, we want to beat Army, right? These are our brothers in arms. But on that field, we want to annihilate them. We want to kill them. We want to blow them out. We want to do everything we can to show that the Navy is the Navy, right? And that's what we've been ingrained from the moment we stepped into that building.
That's the voice of Commander Tyree Barnes. He's along with Captain Gervy Alota of the Navy here with you on 105 through the Fan. Did you want to add to that?
Well, I was just going to say, so it's an awesome game, but the pageantry, what other game does a president go to or the Secretary of Defense go to where the entire brigade of midshipmen and corps of cadets are there, and there's a battle within the battle of who could be the loudest, who could be the wildest. They all look good in uniform. You got double flyovers from the Army.
Flyovers are incredible.
The parachute teams, you talk about all the pageantry involved with Army Navy, and then everyone just goes nuts and wild. It doesn't have to be the greatest game. It just so happened, the last couple of years have been amazing games. But the pageantry alone is all you need. Before, when both teams used to suck, people would still go because of the pageantry. But it just so happens that you got a top 25 school in the nation. You got a team, that's the Commander-in-Chief trophy was on the line. And then we just freaking dominated them, which was even that much more better. So, it was just amazing.
Where's Air Force and all this? Are they just they're off to the side?
They're on Colorado. I'll tell you what, there was one time where Air Force was pretty good, though.
Oh,
There was one time they were pretty good.
Now, they try to get into the big boy conversation.
Gervy and Tyree, which one of you gentlemen had the better games against Army? Did you score against them?
I did not score. I caught a pass in 3 of the 4 games. He would probably attest to this. I had the better games because I won all 4 of my games that we played.
There you go.
So it was amazing. It was just it was just fun. It was just something that I can never forget. If you ask me my most favorite 4 football games, it's those 4 games against Army.
Yeah, you know that you have a problem when your free safety is the leading tackler in all 4 of those games. Right? But Ronnie McKay was the absolute
Ronnie
big.
Was good. He could magician with that ball.
Oh, that option was unbelievable. Yeah. So, I saw my buddy Clint Bruce, who was the middle linebacker, and it's just that option, especially the way the Navy ran it back in the day, was a tough stop. But again, it's always going to be a battle. Regardless of who's favored, regardless of the records. We all just want to get at each other's throat. We just want to dominate each other. And so you could throw out the ratings or whatever. It's going to be a battle.
But, I want to say one thing, too. It's such a great game, but I love the uniforms every year, how you guys represent different groups and stuff. As players, did you get to help choose that, or was that just automatically you showed up and here was in your locker there at the vet or in Baltimore, wherever it was?
So he could probably speak to it. I can't. So my 4 years, we wore the same jerseys, the same helmets.
It's amazing. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
the uniforms are beautiful.
But then he had the Under Armour.
We had it where I was still Nike when we were there, but it still was kind of a buy-in process a little bit. We kind of knew it was going to resemble something different than our regular blue. once they switched over to Under Armour, it kind of blew up, and then that was more so of a thing at that
such a
point.
great
But we
look.
got to pick our patches. We all wear the patches
Sure, the
that is
patches.
a certain, and that's the part that we get to buy in on.
And let me get it right. If you sing first, it's bad, right?
That's correct. You want to
You
sing
don't-
second.
you want to sing second.
That's correct.
Yeah, there you go.
I
got that.
wanted to touch on the idea of battle, whether it's a game or life or actual warfare. What's your advice to the people under your command as far as dealing with that adversity when life sucks?
So again, I personally recruit athletes, right? Because I know that athletes are resilient. They've dealt with losses. Although you've dealt with losses, that doesn't mean you have to like it, right? I don't want someone that's okay with losing. I don't want someone that's okay with being mediocre. I want someone who, if they took a loss, they feel bad about it and they correct their mistakes and they ensure that they don't make those same mistakes twice. That's what I'm looking for in a person. So anyone that's ever done sports or athletics, they've dealt with that adversity and they know how to be resilient. And that's what I'm trying to teach our sailors because, whether it's mental health, whether it's physical strength, they're going to deal with adversity. Whether it's the adversary, you're going to deal with things. Whether it's losing connectivity when you're out deployed, you're going to deal with hardship. And you know what? You've never done anything significant in your life without it being hard. So if you really want to do something special with your life, choose your hard, right? And choose it well so that your family, your friends will be proud of you at the end of the day.
Excellent stuff, guys. We're sending folks to Navy.com, right?
Navy.com, absolutely. Or America's hashtag. It's on all social media platforms.
Hashtag America's Navy.
I'm sorry. Hashtag America's Navy. More importantly, you got this guy right here. If anybody who's anybody, every warfighter out there knows exactly who he is, right? And what he's doing is special because it's showing the people who understand about social media, understand the impact and the power of social media. And he shows what we do on a daily basis, that leaders actually out there care. You got great leaders leading great people and building great teams. And Navy.com is the perfect place to join that team.
I love it, guys. Thank you so much for joining us here on The Fan.
Thank you guys for having
Thank
us.
y'all
This
very
was
much.
special.
Oh, man,
Thank
that
you.
was awesome. Captain Gervy Alota, Commander Tyree Barnes-Wicke here on 105.3 The Fan.